So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the session today. I'm really pleased to say that it's the intergenerational learning opportunities and essential approach for children and young people within education. I'm really pleased to say that we have Alison Clyde and Donna McGlashan. I hope I've pronounced your last name correct, Donna. From Generations working together, and they're going to take us through this session. Please do keep your microphone off when you're not speaking, because we do get a bit of background noise. If you are going to ask a question, you can put your camera on, but just be aware that you are being filmed for this session. The session will be available afterwards if you want to go back and rewatch it or share it with any of your colleagues. It'll be on the SLF website, but only for 2 months, so just bear that in mind. So Alice and Donna, if I can hand over to you to take us through the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan, and thank you for the opportunity to come to the SLF and share the importance of intergenerational learning opportunities that fall within education, and also to introduce our new intergenerational pathway which we are developing for children and young people. So it's myself and Donna that's here today. Donna's our Intergenerational Development Officer from Perth and Kinross. It did say on your programme that it was Lorraine George, but Lorraine George is currently sunning herself in America, going round Route 66 at the moment, so she's on holiday, so she was unable to come. So she has written us lovely notes that she wants particular things said. So Donna and I will be kind of reading from a script a wee bit, but we'll be opening up to questions for anybody at the very end. So we'll get started. I know that people are just joining us. Please do say hello in the chat, introduce yourself to each other. Let us know if you're doing any intergenerational work, and if you've got any questions throughout the way, then put that into the chat, and then Donna and I will try and answer them as much as we can. But we'll just get cracking. So Donna's going to do the slides for me today. So thank you, Donna. So people today tend to socialise only with their own generations or family, whether friends from school, students or new mums. Many of the places where we traditionally mixed are slowly disappearing. Care homes are often built away from schools and nurseries, and new housing estates are building family homes which are not suitable for older people. We continue our journey through life in cliques and groups with our own peers, which we tend to keep throughout our lives. This growing separation leads to children and older adults missing out on opportunities to interact, building understanding and learning, and provides a unique opportunity for an approach such as an intergenerational one, which we can bring the generations together. Intergenerational practice includes projects, activities or events where people of different generations who might otherwise never have connected do things together in a mutually beneficial, positive and creative way, which builds relationships, builds respect and trust, and learning from each other can also then build more cohesive communities. There are many different levels of intergenerational work and principles or quality standards that should be embedded in good practice in order to achieve these. GWT is a nationally recognised centre of excellence in intergenerational practice for Scotland. Our main goals are to raise awareness about what intergenerational work is, what the benefits are, to support and develop the best quality in practice, and to increase the benefits that come from developing intergenerational relationships. Can we go on to the next slide, Donna? Part of GWT's work is also around changing the perception that intergenerational work is just a lovely thing to do. This perception belies the fact that an intergenerational approach can drive targeted and sustained change within our communities in many different forms across various professional fields. Intergenerational learning is so much more than just a feel-good activity. It meets real needs across all generations. It's about learning, about sharing skills and building relationships to the benefit of all. There is a growing bank of documented research that evidences the impact of intergenerational work. And this slide here talks about the work that's been done with the World Health Organization's Global Report on Ageism, which was launched, I think it was actually launched last year. I was thinking it was earlier this year, but I think it was last year. Outlines a framework for action to reduce ageism and highlights the importance of intergenerational work in all its forms, but particularly within education. Ageism has a serious and far-reaching consequence for people's health, well-being and human rights. Ageism contributes to poverty, to financial insecurity for older age, and one recent estimate shows that ageism cost society billions of pounds and dollars. They gave, in their report, they gave 3 specific recommendations, which is why I'm sharing these today. Changing policy and laws to reduce ageism towards any age groups. Ageism isn't just seen towards older people, but it's actually seen towards younger people, so it's towards any age group. Educational interventions across all levels and types of education, from primary school to university, and in informal and non-formal educational contexts. Educational activities help enhance empathy, dispel misconceptions about different age groups, and reduce prejudice and discrimination by providing accurate information and counter stereotypical examples. And the third recommendation from this report was around intergenerational contact, interventions to foster interaction between people of different generations. And I should also say that when we talk about different generations, we're talking about having a generational gap. So historically, it would be under 25s and over 50s. We actually recognise intergenerational work being with a lot more different age groups throughout the life course. And as long as there's like a 20, 25 years age gap, then you've got intergenerational work. Intergenerational learning is not just for toddlers in care homes, like you might have seen on the TV if you've seen older people's homes for 4-year-olds, but it's also about children in primary schools, young people in high school, youth work, as well as being an extracurricular in groups such as the Scouts or Guides. And given the current focus in Scotland on you're getting it right for every child, an intergenerational approach is very adaptable. And it can be developed within education, either within your curriculum or within the routines and extracurricular activities in the school with the community links within the school. Intergenerational projects are adaptable and can develop differently according to the community organisations and generations involved, the focus for learning and so on. Intergenerational learning also gives children and young people a personal experience of engaging with other adults and an understanding and experience of adult social care as a profession and the wide variety of occupations it offers them as a possible career path. Seen as a lovely thing to do, but not an essential thing to do, we need to change that narrative. And that's what we've been working on this year, is changing that narrative from being a nice thing to do to being an essential thing to do. So we need to change this and make people aware that it can be used as a targeted approach across many of the fields. Here are some of the potential types of intergenerational learning within education. So you can see that we can have engaging with adults in residential care, targeted reading, maths programmes. So there's lots of work that's happening around literacy and numeracy. After school clubs, homework clubs, community-based projects, gardening. We've got lots of intergenerational gardening, environmental projects. There is so much to choose from, should I say. Donna, can we go forward a wee bit? Thank you. The benefits. I know I'm very biased to intergenerational work, but the benefits are galore. We have got huge amounts of benefits of intergenerational learning. For children and young people, we've just focused on here. The intergenerational work is about benefits for the people who are involved, so the younger, the older, but there's also benefits there for the staff, for the parents, for the grandparents. It is just fantastic. But these ones here talk about the children and young people. improving speech and language and literacy, increasing confidence and self-esteem, improving resilience in learning, building personal, social and emotional development, increasing social interaction. It also provides opportunities to value and understand diversity and difference, and it increases personal experience and diversity of role models as well. Donna, can we go on to the next one? Intergenerational work also impacts positively upon older adults, as I was saying, staff, families, volunteers, and the community, and also the workplace. For older adults, evidence demonstrates benefits to physical and mental health, improving well-being, valuing and validating their place within the community. Intergenerational learning improves the workplace and therefore the well-being of the staff, attracting and retaining staff in workplaces that embed an intergenerational programme. We have 4 intergenerational schools in Ohio and Cleveland in America, which echo this. And I'll just share with you, one of the schools that I was speaking to recently have 250 older people involved in their intergenerational programming, and those volunteers work various different classes and various different support and activities throughout the school. But what a fantastic resource, actually learning together and being able to share and support through their curriculum. The National Performance Framework. An intergenerational approach fits within educational outcomes for Scotland. Projects facilitate the creation of intergenerational relationships through interaction. We build relationships, and that is the key part of intergenerational work, is the building relationships, the building friendships, the building of that trust, the support that they have. They are not meant to be an add-on to teachers' already demanding schedules. We know how demanding your schedules are and how overwhelming the past couple of years have been for you. So it's not meant to be an add-on. It's about intergenerational learning opportunities that can be creatively built into the curriculum to complement areas of subject focus. Now, the guides which Lorraine has been writing, this is an intergenerational guide for school and education, and you'll not be able to see this properly, but there's this one here. It's actually been piloted just now. So Lorraine has been writing 2 resources, a teacher's resource and then a primary school education resource, which is being piloted just now over the next few months. And I don't want to take any away for Donna, because Donna maybe will be talking about this. But these are the resources that I'm about to talk about. These resources will support you as teachers and staff in understanding what constitutes intergenerational good practice, the processes that should be followed, and provide you hopefully with the confidence to be able to facilitate meaningful sessions between younger and older people. For children and young people, intergenerational learning can improve academic performance. In general, the breadth and depth of learning shall improve. It can be seen that the skills through intergenerational learning include those in Curriculum for Excellence, your skills for learning, skills for life and skills for work. Because the children are learning through all of their experiences in the family and community, preschool centre, nursery and school, the curriculum aims to recognise and complement the contributions that these experiences can make. It can be seen, therefore, that intergenerational practice not only fits with the curriculum areas and subjects, but with all of your 4 categories, which is your curriculum areas and subjects, your interdisciplinary learning, your ethos, and your opportunities for personal achievement. I'm now going to hand over to Donna, who's going to tell us a wee bit more about the pathway for young people and children.
That's Donna. Thanks, Alison. Yeah, so I'll just start with a little bit of the history. Back in 2019, GWT was awarded funding from the Gannicke Trust. Now, the Gannicke Trust is a local funder in Perth and Kinross, and the remit was to include producing a short online training course for primary age children to prepare them for their first intergenerational learning experience with residential adults. To support the development of this piece of work, GWT worked with various partners to develop a resource that would support teachers in primary schools to develop intergenerational opportunities for the children in their school. Acknowledging that the resource, if it was relevant to the curriculum, would be easy to implement with a lesson plan, and then more intergenerational connections would be made. As a result, we have produced guidance documents on intergenerational learning, have been written, alongside an online 6-week classroom module, complete with 50-minute lesson plans, which explore perceptions of ageing, stereotypes and commonalities. And furthermore, it looks at the exchange of skills and interests that children may share with an older generation. The 6-week primary school programme will help to support teachers and prepare children for an intergenerational project with a care home that will follow on from the classroom learning. The intergenerational model has been supported by Education Scotland, who are writing the links for the curriculum and intergenerational learning. The guidance and module is currently being piloted by 4 primary schools, mainly in Perth and Kinross, and that's where I am. It will then be revised depending on the feedback from the pilot schools, and will then be launched nationally in January in 2023 and available to schools across Scotland. So GWT's vision is to develop an intergenerational pathway for children and young people through creating IG opportunities within education and the extracurricular. We're aiming to have a growing number of potential IG champions who have personally experienced the benefits that come from having a diverse range of older friends. This will grow the number of people with intergenerational experience across Scotland, and in turn increase the number of intergenerational opportunities within communities and its impact. So to support teachers' understanding and confidence around intergenerational learning, GWT have developed 2 new publications and the classroom module. In addition to the existing guidance which was written in 2018 to support intergenerational learning between early years and residential care settings. So the first guidance is a teacher's guide to intergenerational learning, and you can see that up on the slide when it has this little, what they call the blob tree, and it gives an overview of intergenerational learning within education and looking at primary and secondary. The second one is the intergenerational guide, and it's for primary school education, and it specifically supports the teaching of the primary school module that's been developed by Lorraine, and this is currently being formatted at the moment. The third guide that we're aiming to produce in 2023 to 24 will be an intergenerational guide for secondary schools, and this will be developed with a cross-organisational working party to provide the information that teachers and volunteers need to support young people in developing their own intergenerational projects within their community. All of these will be available as a download from the GWT website. Okay, so as part of the primary school development within the GWT Moodle platform, we've created a 6-week intergenerational classroom module aimed at primary 4 and upwards, and it's complete with weekly teacher notes and downloadable activities that teachers will explore with the children. The Moodle platform is just basically a portal where we hold all our online modules, all our training courses that can be accessed by our members within the GWT website. So each lesson is around 45 to 50 minutes long, and the 6-week module covers the following topics. In week 1, we cover what is intergenerational work. In week 2, we look at exploring the stereotypes. Week 3, we look at practical cognitive loss. Week 4, we look at people who help us. Week 5, getting to know older adults. And lastly, we cover how we can learn together. So this is the format of the teacher's lesson plan guide. It highlights the topic of the lesson up here, the context and the focus for the teacher, there and there, and lastly, the objective for the children. So that's what the format, the guide plan looks like. And alongside this will also be the links to the curriculum for the lesson, which is for week 1, the curriculum links which were added is to do with literacy. So through listening and talking activities, learners can take turns when participating in group and class discussions, contribute to discussions by sharing relevant ideas and opinions, listen and respond appropriately and respectively to the contributions of others, for example, by nodding, agreeing, or asking relevant questions, speak clearly, audibly, and with expression. I'm hoping I'm speaking with expression today. Moving on. Right. So as part of the classroom activities, we have commissioned a series of intergenerational Pip Wilson blobs to provide opportunities for classroom discussion. The aim of these blobs are to encourage children to discuss the different aspects of ageing and relationships, and also comment on the emotions and feelings that go alongside these. So this is our little blobs that we've commissioned, one you see on the screen. We hope that the blobs challenge the stereotypical and negative images that are generally presented by the media when ageing is portrayed, and show the relationships that can develop as part of intergenerational learning. Moreover, we hope that it highlights the things that people have in common irrespective of their age. So, and as Alison had mentioned earlier, GWT do acknowledge the challenges that some schools may face in developing IG programmes within the curriculum, and we can support schools and individuals to help overcome these. Intergenerational learning programmes have never been more important, as the loss of social and emotional connection between children and the elderly leaves a gap in society. So how can GWT help with these challenges? So what we offer is we have a free membership to GWT in Scotland, and as part of the free membership, you get access to the teacher's guidance document and the online classroom module. We offer free intergenerational training. In the Moodle platform, we've got 4 free online intergenerational modules, training modules, which are available for all GWT members. We also have local networks. We've got 18 local networks that basically covering all the local authority areas, and we run 4 thematic networks which cover the topics of ageism, the care network, IG housing places and spaces, and research. We have a wide resource library and lots of case studies that you can access as being part of the membership. Also, the newsletter, we issue a newsletter that goes out twice monthly to all our members, and it's all free. We do also, lastly, we do have some excellence awards as well that we run every year. And just lastly, we're going to, I'm just going to hand you back over to Alison, who's going to talk about our annual conference and our GB Global Week. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, Donna. Yeah, I actually put a link in the chat bar for the free membership, just so that everybody can access the GWT website. Anybody living in Scotland, there's free access to a whole load of range of activities that you can do with children and older people. There's so much support on our website, so I would encourage you to look at the GWT website to consider connecting with your local network. As Donna said, there are 18 across Scotland, and we do have the 4 thematic, which is ageism. There's one on research, one for care home, and I'm forgetting the 4th one. Donna, what's the 4th one?
Housing,
what have I
spaces,
said?
places.
Housing spaces and places. Yeah. We're seeing a real increase across Scotland of shared sites, where we're seeing new nurseries, new accommodation for older people being built. Our first one, I think, is going to be Methil Haven in Fife, where Lorraine was just actually over with Louisa, one of our development officers, just a couple of weeks ago, having a look at this brand new building that's going to be opening in January. So it's going to be extremely exciting to have an early years centre with older people interacting on hopefully a daily basis. So have a look at the intergenerational networks. Have a think about the thematic networks. These are done. We're now doing face-to-face, but there is also online. So don't feel that if you can't get away from school or wherever you're working, that there isn't an opportunity. The intergenerational training as well, although we have a one-day course, we can actually deliver training specific for schools. So although that there is this training, this resource, there is a whole load of other free training on the 5 modules, which are 2.5 hours, which can be taken at any time on the website. Our conference, thankfully, hopefully, 8th of March next year. Delighted to say that we are planning. We are midway through planning our face-to-face conference, which is going to be in the 8th of March in the Technology and Innovation Centre, which is at the University of Strathclyde. That will be taking place next year. We will be launching our Excellence Awards. There are going to be 6 categories, and they're going to be launched with a live event at the end of October. So look out on the newsletter, which you would automatically receive if you were a member of GWT. Look out for the Excellence Awards. We have changed the categories slightly this year, and they're actually following our good practice principles. So they're slightly different, but definitely I would say to anybody who was doing intergenerational work, even if you're planning it, have a look at the Excellence Awards, because this is something that you might want to do, and it's something that we do on a yearly basis. Those will be awarded at the conference on the 8th of March. We also do various different events and discussions online, but the big event, I think, for a year after our conference is Global Intergenerational Week. And this is an opportunity for everybody across the globe to share the intergenerational work, to share your plans, share what you're doing, share the impact of what it's having, of what your intergenerational relationships are having. Global Intergenerational Week will next year, 2023, will take place from the 24th to the 30th of April. It'll be over 7 days. There will be very much an online presence on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I think we're on TikTok as well. But there will also be face-to-face, and it's an opportunity for people to actually look at, there's individual themes, so there's 6 themes throughout the week. which you can then celebrate, and there might be a particular theme that your project work fits in with, or that you're maybe interested in developing. We have 11 countries that are already signed up. So we have the 4 UK countries, and we also have Ireland. We have Australia, America, Canada, Mexico City, Spain and Sweden that are already signed up. And for next year, we're looking at, we've had interest from Israel, Uruguay, South Korea. I'm just thinking, and Singapore. So there's another few countries that they're looking at to join us next year. But it's a real unique opportunity to come and learn from experts. We were able to deliver some really phenomenal online discussions with our colleagues from other different countries. So please do get involved and share your work that you're doing within your schools as well. So I think that's enough from Donna and I. Donna, you want to say something?
Mention, I almost forgot. We've also got the International Certificate in IG Practice, and our course, we've got our new one starts on the 3rd of October. It's ready to go, but that's an 8-week training course that we offer as well. There is a charge for that, but it's another excellent international certificate course that you could do as well. So yes, that's me. So it's just, I think it's over to questions. Any questions?
Thanks, Alison and Donna. That was really, really good, really informative. And I think for me, I always think about, you touched on the fact that there are some people living in isolation in our communities, and being involved in a project like this goes a long way to support them. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people. Does anyone have any questions, or perhaps, because actually the chat panel has been really busy, and I'm just wondering if you don't have a question, maybe you have a comment, or maybe you have an experience that you'd like to share, something that you're currently involved in, or maybe you have a question around the resources, the teacher resources, how you can get involved, how you can get your hands on them, anything at all. Oh, so Lorraine, do you want to come in? She's asking a wee question.
Hi, Alison and Donna. I was just asking if you could just remind everybody when this new intergenerational pathway is expected to be available to roll out across different schools.
Yeah, okay. There is an opportunity to pilot just now. So we're doing, I think there's 4 primary schools at the moment that are looking to pilot between now and Christmas. And Lorraine has sent me with specific directions on what I have to do if anybody else would like to join. So if there is anybody here today that is from a primary school who would like to trial the resources which are being developed just now, then we would be really interested in speaking with you. We're hoping that once we gather the feedback from the trials between now and Christmas, that we will be ready to launch in the early part of next year. The documents have all been designed by our graphic designer, and they're still to get proofread, but we don't really want to complete them until the pilots have come back with their feedback, so that we can see if there's anything that's missing. So yeah, so look out for it. Probably about February, March, April next year. I would imagine there will be lots being announced at the conference with the resources, and we should have some hard copies at the conference on the 8th of March that people will be able to have a look at. We'll not be giving them away, but there will be some on show, I'm sure, that you'll be able to then get a hold of as well. But Lorraine will be back in 3 weeks' time. She's back in October. It's actually school holidays, so it'll be after October, and she'll be able to give you lots of other information on the primary school resource that's being piloted at the moment.
And Lorraine, I don't know if you want to say anything about the group that you were working with in the Scottish Borders. That sounds really, really, really interesting. Don't know if we've lost Lorraine.
I'm back again,
Oh,
sorry.
there.
I actually got BT engineers here at the time, so it's coming and going a wee bit with what I'm doing. Yes, that was a project with Generations working together and Scottish Borders Council using Communities Fund, and it was working with the new campus school down at Jedburgh. So the school opened over the pandemic times. It's been difficult and challenging, but I think that's a good news story, because it means if we can get up and running during these times, anything can happen. And what we've got now is we have 9 volunteers from the community coming in to work with pupils and staff in the school. It's part of their wider aim around sustainability and climate action, which was in the school's improvement plan. But obviously for the community members, that's not their agenda. Their agenda is actually literally about sharing skills, spending time with the young people, learning from them as well, very much. So we have a large polytunnel, some raised beds in and out of it, and each week the volunteers are coming along, spending time, sharing their knowledge, learning new, but most importantly, they're building wonderful relationships. And the feedback from the children involved of different age groups, from the volunteers, is fantastic. It's just, it's really heartwarming. I think it's something that the school will never turn back from now. And obviously it has ripple out effects, which all intergenerational work tends to offer that opportunity. You don't quite know where it will grow next, because the relationships and the connections build new opportunities. I have some volunteers who are living with dementia, early onset dementia, and they're probably the most energetic, exciting, most committed members. My eldest volunteer is 86, and she said it's given her back her life and being her. Pandemic had affected her very badly, and she actually feels like herself again now, reconnecting within her community, and has no grandchildren, so she just adores this opportunity to be able to come in and spend time each week with the school. And I think she's ready to make the whole project fly on her own shoulders at the moment. So the school themselves and the staff have said it's been the most wonderful, uplifting experience they've had. Pandemic's been grueling for everybody, and particularly difficult to keep navigating that in school situations. So really nothing but positive feedback from it. It's been wonderful and really special for me. My time with that project has just recently come to an end, but I'm keeping a very close eye on it. It's very good for the soul.
Absolutely. And you know, important there for me as well is that intergenerational transfer of skills. Every generation has something that they're bringing to the table, so it's just about kind of teasing that out and providing an opportunity to share with each other. So yeah, that sounds like a lovely programme, Lorraine. It really does. Sorry, Alison, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say that the work in Jedburgh, unfortunately, COVID hit as it hit everybody, and we weren't able to do the things that we'd hoped we were able to do. We were looking to do a literacy and numeracy project. So although we were able to extend the work down in Jedburgh, it has now come to an end. But I just had a really interesting conversation, and the school have recognised that they need to look for specific funding to have an intergenerational officer to be able to, you know, to support teaching staff, to actually create opportunities for intergenerational work. And I think that's what we're hearing from one of Donna's schools as well, is that once GWT's time has come and went with the school, that they will be still looking to have some sort of role for intergenerational work within the school to allow it to continue. But I think one of the other things I'd like to say, I'm not really sure the backgrounds of everybody that's here today. We've talked about primary school, we've talked about secondary, but we also have a publication for early years. So there is a lot of help and support, and our training will help anybody within any of these 3 areas to develop intergenerational work. So it's not just the primary schools that we've been concentrating on. And as Donna said, next year we're looking to have another Moodle training platform for secondary schools to help them prepare for those intergenerational connections. And I think by preparing better, we're able to have a bigger impact and a more impactful impact, if I can say that. Is that two words the same? So yeah, I think it's very exciting, but for me, please do come and check out our website. You'll be able to get Donna and I's email address on the website, or any of the other staff team, to ask any other questions, or if you need support.
I think we've had a few people saying that they've engaged with the website and are saying that it's looking really good. And I would imagine that from there they can then register for the local networks in their area. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes. Yes. So you've got networks throughout the whole of Scotland, including the Highlands and Islands. We've got Shetland, Orkney and Western Isles, and then also down to Dumfries and Scottish borders. So we do cover the whole of Scotland, and there will be opportunity. I know that it's very difficult to get out, but I would encourage anybody who is keen in intergenerational work to connect with the local networks, because that way you're then able to connect with older people's organisations. When you're sitting around the table, even if it's an online event, you're able to see other people in your local area that is interested in connecting and building relationships, and that is a really good way. You also, as you're a member of GWT, you can go onto your local network page and you will see the membership on the page of your local network. So if you were looking for care homes, or if you're looking for older people's groups, men's sheds, anywhere that you would find older people, then you would be able to find that on the website. People who are already interested, that have, you know, kind of headspace for intergenerational work, you can then send them a message and maybe start those connections from there.
Perfect. Now we only have 3 minutes left, and I know it's a hard end. So I want to give the people that are in the audience just one last opportunity to ask a question or make a comment before we hand over to Alison and Donna for some closing remarks. And it's okay if you don't have a question or a comment also. You've got a couple of people typing. Lorraine's just let us know about a new plain storytelling toolkit for connecting generations. Lorraine, how do people see that case study?
The toolkit's on the Generations Working Together and Play Scotland's websites.
Perfect.
So it's there, another resource that's included free to use, and they're coming out in print version shortly too. So if you're in a network meeting, we will hopefully have printed hard copy versions of that too. The toolkit's actually part of a suite of resources. So there's a book list there to support as well, which you can access through, again, both Generations Working Together and Play Scotland. I think you asked me something else in there and I've forgotten what it was because I'm watching the engineer moving behind me.
Well, everything to do with that project will be on the Generations Working Together and Play Scotland, if
Yes.
anyone wants to follow it up. Okay.
Yes, and the case studies are included within the toolkit.
Perfect. And Diane is saying that she's thinking of some schools that she can approach. Excellent. Oh, I'm just assuming that's Diane Cherry. It might be another Miss Cherry.
No, yes, it is.
Yes.
It's the one only.
Hi, Diane. Sorry. I just assumed it was you, and I don't know why. Now, Diane and Alison, maybe it would be good to connect you afterwards, actually, just if there's anything that any support, Diane, that Alison and Donna can provide.
Too late, Susan. Alison and I had a telephone conversation last week already, so I'm already converted. So.
Perfect. Well, Alison, thank you, Diane. So Alison, Donna, we're at 1:45, so I don't know if you've got any final comments you want to make just before we end the session.
I think I'd just like to thank everybody for your interest, and really to say that even if you have challenges for doing this work, please don't hesitate to contact any of the GWT team and ask for help and support, because that's what we're here for. So we really wish you well in your intergenerational journey. We look forward to sharing more about this training, this new training that Lorraine has written, and yeah, look forward to working with you. Thank you very much for having us.